Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463. Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Batiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Society Now, a show that endeavors to provide groundbreaking and stories that are in editorials that are amazing, right? They are amazing. They ignite perspective, excite passion, and invoke social consciousness. My name is Kira Laws, and I'm your host, and you can follow me at The Modern Day Cindy on Instagram. And this is the amazing, the incomparable. What's your name today?
You are hilarious. Hello, everyone. My name is Allison Bullock. And of course, you can find me on Instagram at Miranda Inc. Yo, how's everybody's day been? This has been a heck of a week. Let's talk about it. And we want to welcome all of our Facebook viewers.
Hi, Facebook.
Because, when we start getting going, please make sure to comment, share, like. We need you to make sure that you do that. Subscribe, review, share, and definitely do not forget to donate to our mission to bring enriching and inspiring content each week to you. So you can go onto our website at www.thesphere.tv/donate. I'm going to repeat that, www.thesphere.tv/donate. So we want to make sure that you do that.
I mean, because it costs a lot to run this show.
It does.
And it's in such an amazing show. It's an urban news show. And
great
it provides
content.
Commentary and content around real life things, guys. So definitely support. So let's talk about what's real. I mean, the news was so powerful. I mean, I couldn't figure out just to narrow down just a few titles.
There was a lot going on this week.
I was like, it's only been 7 days. And I felt like it was like a month of information. Oh, my gosh. Come on, Tony.
I did it.
Come on, Tony.
I did it. I did it.
Come on, sexy Tony.
Did you hear that?
I heard that.
Did
and
you hear that?
I remember the soundtrack. Hello.
Baby, look, hello.
Hello. Well, listen.
7 whole days and a lot went on. A lot went down in 7 days. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so blaming Bill. So I know a lot of people a little bit pissy.
A little.
They're a little upset. A lot of people are upset because, as many of you have heard, Bill Cosby, they definitely it was a mistrial, declared a mistrial. It was a hung jury. They could not decide whether or not they wanted, there was this the jury was deadlocked. And so now there was, now there's other components about what's going to happen next. There are talks about whether he will actually still face jail time. Also, if there's any fines involved, a fine could be as small as $25, y'all. But I mean, at this point, I don't know. I feel very conflicted about it because I'm like, I really am sensitive about the whole conversation around sexual assault. I've been in relationships that, or I've dated. I have no saying relationship, but I have dated guys who were a little bit too aggressive with me, on a one date. I was like, hey, but I feel like, this whole story to me has always made me, feel some type of way. I just feel like it's a lot of people and all those people, nobody ever said anything. So I've always had that question mark in the back of my head. This thing's very strange to me.
So, Kira, I am going to say this. I read a couple of different articles because I agree with you. I'm kind of torn, if you will.
Yeah.
I read an article, and I think it's Rolling Stone. You guys don't quote me on this. And they said why it being declared a mistrial is a good thing.
Yeah.
And the perspective that they came from was it brings light even on a deeper level with sexual assault, sexual harassment, what that looks like. And they came from that perspective. And in my mind, I was like, well, that kind of already happens. You've got the Bill O'Reillys. You've got, well, not saying that these are bad things, but I'm just saying there's a lot of things in the media that have opened up those doors.
And I think also, I hope it actually encourages people that if there is something you feel that has occurred with you, that you will report it sooner rather than later, because I think the time lapse for all of these cases, although we were just focusing on one, I think the time lapse for all these cases just left a lot of people not feeling like, okay, what is
it, beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yeah, like, and it's a lot of doubt. People are like, I don't know.
Like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Like, that's a lot. And I think a lot of people feel like, and again, I understand, because I've been on dates where I felt like the person was a little bit too aggressive with their conversation, the way they approached me and all, and I don't condone that type of behavior. And I did choose to walk away. But when you're talking about drugs and sex, I think that's a whole nother level. It's one thing to have an inappropriate conversation. It's another thing when you're talking about this person actually did something to you. I think that
takes it to a whole nother level. Yeah,
that takes it to. So I'm grateful that this man in his old age,
because he went, since his trial, his health's declined.
Oh yeah,
he's went blind almost.
There's been a lot going on.
And so, like, I think that one of our takeaways should be, like, if you are in a relationship and there is sexual abuse, or you feel like you're being drugged, or something's happening, please reach out to someone. Call the authorities. Tell a friend. Get help. Don't wait. We definitely want. I think that would be the best takeaway from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what else is going on?
Yeah, you tell me. I mean, it's a lot going on. I know there was a case with Rebel Wilson, and you guys know Rebel Wilson. She was or is an actress / comedian, and she actually was. She's Australian, and she said there was a paper written, a news article written about her, and she actually won her case, a defamation case in court, which is sometimes really hard to do when you talk about these smear magazines, that they actually profit on these slanderous type of headlines. And so I think that's a big thing for her, and I think it's the conversation around that. When I thought about some of the titles from the week, you think about how stories are created and rolled, and she had I want to give her a clap. Only reason I'm giving her a clap is because she had the guts to actually address the situation.
She said she lost 2 roles from it.
Yeah, that actually created an issue for her career.
Yeah.
And you tie that into what's happened to Mr. Cosby, and you think about with some of these stories that have possibly been exaggerated a little bit, and he probably wasn't in a position to do anything, because sometimes the moves that people make don't put them in a better situation. So thankfully, as a woman, she was able to actually,
she stood up, she lawyered up and won.
So
it can work.
It can work.
It can work.
It can work.
So I want to take a brief pause. Okay, good. I just did it.
I was like, for a moment of silence.
Because of the next couple of stories that we're getting ready to have. When I first heard about this, I was like, this is not true.
This
is not true. Alt-right delete.
I had to put alt-right delete because I think it's amazing that, first of all, we have a lot of things have emerged in the past 24 months. Since our last election cycle. And one of the things that emerged was a lot of people started hearing about these alt-right groups. And I know we're in times where, we are actually, racism has never went away, guys. We know that. We know people that believe in different beliefs of what groups they feel are superior and whatnot. But this particular church took a stand, and they was like, listen, we're not buying into it. It was a predominantly white church. Mm-hmm. And they were like, Southern Baptist, the congregation and also the denomination was like, we're not supporting that, and we're voting to overwhelmingly condemn alt-right supremacy. And I think that's amazing. I think it's amazing because you think about historically what the Southern Baptist Church represents. Yeah. It's particularly, predominantly white. And so I think that was good. That was a great stance. It actually showed some solidarity for the Christian community.
Let's go ahead and do a clap on that. Because I'm going to tell you, first it was a slap, let's be real, and then it was a clap. Because when I first read it, I was like, what? No. And if you actually go and watch the whole video, like on Washington Post, it has the whole video on it, and it really kind of explains like how this all came about and how literally there's people in the church like, okay, this is like a no-brainer, like we can't support this, but they actually had to have a dialogue with some people. Yeah,
because it's so funny because there are so many people that have belief systems, and in their belief system they really do believe that they interpret the Bible to be justification for being superior. And so you think about how the church had to come together and be like, hey,
like, no, like,
that's not okay.
No, that's not what that's for. You can't use the Bible to justify that. That's not what the Bible is saying.
Exactly.
Which I think, again, my slap clap, right? But I think it's, bravo for at least agreeing, right? To like, it's a no-go. So good job.
And okay, so then we move on to another crazy story. It was so crazy. So I'm reading the paper, and I'm looking at my little timeline, and I'm like, okay, there's a senator in Georgia who actually started praying for the demise of our former president Barack Obama. Now, this prayer was so crazy because he used scripture all through it to talk about, how he felt about the president, and pretty much used, I think it was Psalm 108, and he was saying, this is it. Like, this is the prayer that we're going to pray, and let his days be few. And then he started praying about his kids and his wife.
We're about to go here. We're definitely about to go here because I really, typically with our society segments, we have a lot to cover, so we try to make stuff very, very quick. But I want to actually say a little bit of his prayer. Let his days be few. Let another take his office. Let his children be fatherless and his wife a widow. Let his children wander about and beg, and let them seek, what is it? Is it subsistence? Isn't that supposed to be a B? Never mind. Maybe not. Maybe it's just me. Far from their ruined homes. And it goes on, guys. It goes on. Let them be before the Lord continually, that he may cut off their memory from the earth.
Now, when you read, we can keep going on and on.
Oh, great. It's on the screen.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And going on to that, when you think about that and compare it to the article just before, the alt-right delete article, you think about, this is a man who did this at his church. He's a senator. What does that tell you about our nation? What does it tell you about our elected officials, and how we need to be a little bit more discerning, discriminatory, and active, and actually aware? Because I guess the woke movement has to be woke on all levels, not just when it's brutality. We need to be woke in these situations too, not in, because this happened, you guys. You know what I mean? Like, this actually happened. This is recorded information. What do you think about that?
Again, I thought that this was something, or at first I was like, okay, well, no one really did this, right? No one that holds office would actually do this jokingly at a church with scripture. And the reality of it is, the way that it's going now, that's just how people, there are people that think it's okay. So what do I feel about it? I think it's sad.
Absolutely.
I think it's really sad. But I'm glad that someone captured this and it reached the news, because people need to know. Like, for those that may not believe or have any type of spiritual belief, and for those that do, this gives you something to pray about.
Absolutely. Now let's look at some of our beautiful teeth again.
Great.
This portion of our show is sponsored by Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, our vision is to create a welcoming practice that will offer exceptional dental care and a lifetime of dental wellness. We are committed to the finest possible oral care and the overall health and well-being of our patients. Elite Dental Wellness is built upon a foundation of integrity, expertise, and service. Through our commitment to modern dentistry, continuing education, and friendly atmosphere, we strive to make our patients feel that they are a part of our family. Dentistry can be scary, daunting, and uncomfortable. Dr. Baptiste and her team work tirelessly to ensure your comfort. Make your appointment today with Dr. Ashandra Baptiste at Elite Dental Wellness at 713-789-8680. Again, that's 888-789-8680. Elite Dental Wellness. Look at these.
We absolutely love Elite Dental. So guys, don't forget, if you got some things that need to do with the dentist, you need to go to Elite Dental.
You got to keep your smile.
Keep your smile. Speaking of smile, we just want to give a special smiles to Miss Kimberly Barnes and to Patrick. What's going on? Thank you guys so much for joining in. It is
Who's Patrick?
Patrick.
Oh, hey, Patrick. Oh, my gosh. How are you, Patrick?
So, unfortunately, we have to bid you adieu. So, for those that do not know, the first 15 minutes of our show is always going to be on Facebook Live. Why? Because we want you to tune in. But after 15 minutes, and sometimes we're generous and we give you 16, maybe 17. But we really want you to be a part of society now, our family. And a part of to do that, you're actually going to have to subscribe. And there's a couple of ways that you can do that. You can do it via iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. I don't know. It's not like we like Stitcher more. I just think I like the way that it sounds.
I think it's just how you.
It just sounds good. It's like
you just
Stitcher,
close it out. Like
right? It's always a good thing, right?
But Google Play,
like
iTunes,
like one of those different things. Woo! So definitely you can subscribe, because we have a lot of people offline always say, hey, how do we see the show? How do we see the show? That's how you do that. But for those of you that watch us on Facebook, don't forget to review us on iTunes. Give us constructive feedback. We need to. The only way we can grow is if we know. When we know, we grow. Also, to share this post, and you can get the entire show with your family and friends. And last but not least, don't forget to donate at the www.thesphere.tv/donate. Again, that's www.thesphere.tv/donate. And unfortunately, this is our time to say goodbye to our Facebook Live. We absolutely love you.
Absolutely.
Have a great, great night. And for those of you that subscribe, we're going to keep this party going. So see you guys.
So let's talk about other things that are happening in the news. Like I said, this news cycle this particular week has been totally crazy for me, because I felt like I couldn't catch up. It was just so much things like being thrown every day. So we thought we were done with talking about airlines for a minute. We thought we did.
Of course not.
And when I ran across this doozy of a story, I was like, goodness gracious. I'm like, I thought we had a moment where we figured that all the airlines would behave, but no, that didn't happen. So American Airlines got a slap on the wrist last week from, we're going to say social media.
Yeah.
Because not really, it didn't actually, I don't think anything happened with it yet. But apparently there was a passenger on American Airlines who was not feeling well, went to the restroom, apparently died in the restroom. When it was time for them, I guess, to descent, they realized that the woman was not back in her seat. So they checked the bathroom, found that she was dead. They called in medical professionals. They tried to resuscitate her. It didn't happen. So when the emergency team came in, when they took her off the plane, they did not put her clothes back on her. So they drug her off the plane with no pants on. And it was disgraceful. And just in poor judgment. Now, of course, when they finally got her off the plane, they did cover her up. But it's just a matter of, I don't know if we have a segment called "What the hell were you thinking?" But what were you thinking? Like, I don't, because I'm like, it's a matter of like, if you don't have nothing else, does anybody have? Don't they still have blankets on planes? Like, do you have anything you wrap this woman in?
So this is okay. So I've worked a few places.
Did you ever work on an airplane?
I've never worked on an airline. I never have,
because I think they need you.
But
I think they need you.
I know that in orientation, they teach you certain things. And then what orientation doesn't teach you, and let me say this first, for those flight attendants or for the staff that were on the plane, I've never been in that situation. So I really don't know exactly what I would do, but I would try to at least give that person a little dignity.
Absolutely.
And it's one thing to, all right, even if it's a person, got to pull up their pants. It's like, oh, well, I can't pull up their pants. Maybe their pants bust. Maybe something happened. But you could at least take your jacket off, or ask somebody, hey, for a punk, or just say, guys, I'm trying to find, and I try to find ways to justify almost everything, right?
You do.
I really do.
Because it's your beauty. It's because it is.
I try to really and I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, Allison, what would you do? And every part of me is just like, I would at least say, hey, give me something to cover her up. Because if I got to drag somebody down the aisle, there could be kids that see that.
Absolutely.
Indecency. Now, okay, let's forget about the deceased, but even the people that are on the plane. You don't want people to see that, and vice versa. So on both ends, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know. I really don't know. I just think all around, it's just the dignity was lost. And did we say what airline this was?
It was American Airlines, friend, and it was pretty sad. I do know, like, again, it's no dignity. I mean, deceased or not, I just felt like it's a little bit disturbing. And of course, again, she was deceased, so it's more like nobody really wanted to. That those are the things that it keeps people up at night, right? So it's just really unfortunate. Now, on a lighter note, there was a family from Trenton, New Jersey. Shout out Trenton, New Jersey. Whoop, whoop. And they won a jackpot, $429 million, you guys. The Powerball. It's an African-American family, and they decided instead of spending and making it rain all the money, they're going to actually rebuild their community. That is amazing. If y'all know,
can we do a double clap? 1, 2.
Y'all know anything about Trenton, New Jersey? Y'all know it is considered, they have some, really hard areas in Trenton.
Very much so.
And so, for them to say we're going to take this money and invest back into our hood, I think that's beautiful, because a lot of people, $429 million, whether they get half of it, in a direct payout, or
they actually asked for a direct payout, and the after taxes, each of them took home $25 million.
Right. What I'm saying is, regardless of how they get the money, it's still a big amount of money. They can be very selfish with however they got it,
very much so,
and decide to live their life. But they said there's a need in our community, and a lot of people would not have given like that. So great things happening in Trenton, New Jersey. Shout out to that family. They're amazing.
You guys are amazing.
The Smith family is amazing,
and it's actually called the Smith Family Foundation.
Yes.
So if you're looking for it, it's a private grant making institution. So again, if you want some, it's actually called the Smith Family Foundation. Hey, we support you guys. Awesome job.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I gave that like extra long.
You did. Okay, now let's talk about, I just found this one to be a little bit interesting. Greed or glutton. Now, I try not to judge anybody. I thought this was a really interesting story. So apparently it's a judge in New York who was actually acting Supreme Court judge. He was nominated or assigned his chair in 2014, but from the time he got the position, he never came to work because he is obese and he had some medical conditions that prevented him from coming to work. Multiple conditions that prevented him from coming to work. And so eventually the state commission stepped in and was like, okay, well, we have to pretty much forced retirement on him. And in his forced retirement, he's going to get $143,000 a year. Now, I trying to figure out how he even was qualified for the job from the beginning. If he had these conditions from the beginning, because it's not like he took the job on Tuesday and he worked for a couple of, and then something happened to him. I believe this is this man's stated condition when he actually was appointed this position. So he never showed up for work, but he's making a lot of money now.
So let's talk about it. So I think he had a herniated disc. I hope I said that correctly. I probably did. I did it awesome. An intestinal bleeding. And he earned $193,000
a year. Excuse me, in pension.
So, and while he was doing that, all the other judges were taking on his course load. And so, because at first, I don't know what everybody is thinking out there. We want to know, hashtag us, add us at Society Now or the Sphere TV. We want to get your feedback. When I read about it, I was like, okay, but he did not. In April, instead of taking medical leave or disability leave, he just didn't come. So I think that's where I was like,
because it makes you think like, okay, so just real quickly, my background, my background is in law, y'all. It is. I am an attorney and I'm also a strategist. And so when I hear things from a very strategic perspective, I always think about because you thought that out.
No, like completely.
I don't want to, and I don't want to think that I really believe he really wanted that position, but I really think that people start thinking about, they start weighing what's going to be the best outcome. Would it be easier for me to go on a leave, or would it be easier for them to let me go?
So, friend, can I call you friend? Do you mind if I call you friend?
Friend. You can, because
because we're friends. So
today.
this happened.
We're friends today.
Since April of 2014, I had to take a leave at a job that I worked at. I had to take a leave of absence because I had an injury with my foot.
They didn't care though,
and
they definitely didn't pay you $143,000.
So they definitely didn't.
I remember.
Let me tell you, it was when it was time for me to come back. It was time for me to come back.
You had a choice. They was like you come back or you don't come back at all.
Seriously. No. So my question is, you are a judge, a acting Supreme Court judge, and you are not taking work. So maybe I can understand like a few months. Like, hey, you may have a whole bunch of sick time, whatever the case may be, or whatever. You don't come to work for a week. But after some time, I would think as a judge, you may say, you know what, legally, I want to cover myself and protect myself by getting myself together. So the fact that he didn't is absolutely amazing to me. So I want to give him a clap.
We're not giving him. We're gonna give him a no clap. Yeah, because you're not getting a clap on that. I think when you need him.
Yeah,
that clap and a half. We're not doing that. So
yeah,
I just thought it was so ridiculous. I was like, really? And then I had a whole nother.
They paid him. No,
they are paying.
They are paying him. So I'm sorry, it can't be that ridiculous. You know why? Because it's happening.
Listen, this portion of the show is sponsored by.
Come on.
No, seriously, guys. The portion of the show is sponsored by The Sphere. Are you starting your business and looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at The Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, is surely to hit the mark every time. Call us today at area code 832-772-7789. Again, the number is 832-772-7789. Or send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv. Or again, advertise@thesphere.tv. You guys, The Sphere is an amazing network to advertise on. It is it's so much. It's
seriously, if you want a platform, The Sphere is the best place to come.
I think
flat out.
It's a really great platform to be connected to, especially in this stage. It's almost like that blue chip stock. You better catch it now. Why you can invest in it. I'm telling you, because it may not always be here, y'all. Y'all might have to get your coins up later on. I don't know.
Get your coins up.
Hey. Now, Jay-Z, I'm here for him right now.
I'm definitely here for Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, I'm not here for him just because they just had kids. I'm not. God bless their children. I'm here. What is going on? I don't know. My co-host is doing some weird stuff. What is happening right now?
I'm smiling because
I don't know.
When we did the run the show, it was a really deep. A lot of stuff happened that, let's be honest, didn't make a lot of people smile, including myself and Kira. And so when we were talking about Jay-Z, I was like smiling because the stuff that there are some people in the world that are literally taking their platform and they're utilizing it.
I don't know.
For Father's Day, right?
I don't know what's happening over here, but I love her. Here's for Father's Day.
For Father's Day, right?
He spent Father's Day bailing people out of jail.
Like, who does that?
He bailed people out of jail.
That's what's up. I love it.
Penned a letter in Time magazine, which I actually read that article, and it was amazing. An amazing op-ed, and it was really talking about the bail system, the jail system, and it's predatory. And how can you do certain things if you have to face this? You know, you can't get out of the cycle, and the system wasn't meant to actually help you. And then, actually, one of those articles that I read highlighted the 13th Amendment. So you think about it from that perspective, you think about what the nation and the country was built upon, what the 13th Amendment stands for. And if you guys have not seen a documentary on 13, y'all need to check it out. But it definitely was eye-opening. What he's doing is amazing. I hope we have more people that are getting in the street and giving back in that way. I think sometimes persons in his position get a bad rap because they feel like people automatically, as soon as you get money, should do stuff. But we know we're on planes, right? So what do you have to do on the plane? You take care of yourself first,
then you help others.
You help others. So you have to put your, your air mask on and all that stuff before you can actually help anybody else. So sometimes people have to get their life straight before they can help other people.
And I agree. And I think he is a prime example of when purpose meets platform, like equals power. And he's utilizing it in such a beautiful way. I'm excited about it. So that's why I kept on grinning, because I know Kira was on the side like, what is she doing? I was like, yes.
I don't know. It was,
I always stick with my hands, guys. Y'all know that.
It was so special happening right now.
It was.
I couldn't. Okay, so let's talk about normalcy and the importance of doing it for the kids. So let me ask you, say you just blow up one day and you got your kids and people are like, oh my God, Allison, we want your autograph and stuff like that, and they running up on your kids
just like that,
and they be running up on your kids and be like, take a picture, and you be like, oh no, I want my kids to be normal. People like, they don't deserve a normal life. Do you believe that?
So it's almost kind of like Facebook. People talking about, oh man, that's my Facebook friends. Like, Facebook friend doesn't mean you
don't have no friends.
You don't really have, if they're really your Facebook friends. Typically,
you really don't
your real
have
friends. I think that, especially with celebrities that are that in the limelight, for instance, like the Kardashians, although they're kind of all over the place, you see them. I mean, she's snapping them and all this other kind of stuff. I can see why they would want to give them a normal life, and you got to applaud just that as parent, and majority of celebrity parents, a lot of them keep their children hidden because they don't want them exposed to all that.
And you think about it from this perspective, what's normal anymore, right? Because for them, normal for them is being able to go to Chuck E. Cheese or stuff like that, or wherever they go to have their pizza parties,
or going to the grocery store without somebody taking a picture.
Which could be the reverse or the opposite of sometimes the people that are not in their lifestyle are trying so hard to do what they think is about their lifestyle, right? They're trying to get something that's not the norm.
It's almost like the grass is always green on the other side.
So I want to be what I think they are. So I'm overspending on my kids. I'm doing all these different things, and they're just striving to have their kids a normal life where they can play.
To overspend, so they have to
security
shut down parks, so nobody will be in their business.
Like I want my kid to play hopscotch outside and have to worry about somebody, So
I got to buy the whole block.
I have to buy the whole block just so they can have that experience, so they can actually say they did it. It's crazy. So
just a different perspective, guys.
Just a perspective, and we want to just importance of just it's for the kids, for the kiddos. Okay. The part of the show we didn't want to.
No, but this is real, so let's just go ahead and dive right on in.
You dive right on in.
So
I'll stay on the shore.
For those that have not heard by now, Minnesota Madness. Give me a minute, guys. I was super fine until we got to this segment. Before we even talk about this, I'm just going to say this. For those of you that do not believe that racism is not real, and that there is a disconnect in the system, and you think that everything in the world is just perfect, this whole story should be a wake-up call for you. Go ahead.
Well, we all know what happened, and we can all surmise why it happened. The bigger question is it going to stop happening? What will it take for it to stop happening? I think, and if we kind of jump around a little bit, I think Trevor Noah, he mentioned it best, and it was one of the things we had as a final thought for our show.
Yeah.
But he mentioned it best because it's a call out. At what point do these organizations that support the right, open carry and the right to bear arms actually stand up for justice for persons who don't look like them, or the majority of those who don't look like them, right? Because there are some people that are African Americans that are part of these type of groups, you know what I mean? But very few. And it's interesting that that this actually occurred, and it took a young man on the Comedy Central news show to say, I'm waiting for y'all to speak up on it. Y'all haven't said anything yet. So I, when I think about what happened, so like I said, we know why it happened. No variation of that story sits well with me. No, he was I was fearful of my life, because apparently there is some clause that says if because of a case, and I don't remember the case right now, but case law that made it okay that if someone says they were fearful of their life and they were acting as a dutiful officer, that can get them off. And it's just those key words, those key phrases. And I just hate that. I remember when I was a young person, I remember hearing my skin and my sin. You know what I mean? You can be really, really good at everything you do, but your skin, actually is the thing that people look at as artillery. And so again, I didn't think out of all the because last summer was a hot summer. Out of all the cases, and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that, and all of them. I mean, everything, all going all the way back to Skittles, and I mean, everything that happened. You know what I mean? Going back to hoodies. You know what I mean? All of that stuff that's happened over the past 5 years or so. But you never thought this particular case that was so. It would everyone saw it. You never thought that was going to happen. Not get off like that.
I don't know Philando. I never met him, right? But it could have been my brother. It could have been a friend. It could have been a cousin. And, I agree with you, Kira. I don't know what it would take.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would it take for there to be other nationalities or races in the car? Would it take
what?
And for everybody to be shot? And I'm not saying that that's what I want to happen, but I don't know what it would take, because so many have lost their lives.
But see, that goes on to another topic that we had that happened this over the week, Hassini, and which was a young lady who was beat down. She was a Muslim young woman,
and they said it was they called it something, road rage
or something like that. But she was about to go worship at the mosque. And this this is Ramadan for them, and I thought like this could have been any of us, because Philando. So she was pretty much attacked or targeted based upon what she looked like. She had on her customary clothing, and I don't necessarily think that she would have been attacked if she did not have that on, because you can easily identify her. You see what I'm saying? Like, so now she's not necessarily, she stands out.
Yeah.
Apparently something happened. She tripped. She fell behind the group, and she was targeted.
And she was beat with I think they said a baseball bat.
And that was just ugly.
Yeah.
That was just ugly. I mean, there was so many stories like that. I mean, and then we take it overseas to the young man who was finally brought home from North Korea.
In a coma.
With neurological damage. Obviously something happened to him, so much hate in the world. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so much. So much hate. And he was, he admitted that he was trying to take some propaganda from North Korea, some things he could bring home as his form of what he wanted to show people about what they have in North Korea. And his punishment was, hard labor for life.
But, for those of you that haven't followed this story, the most recent, I believe, clip was when they were saying, they gave all these medical and technical terminology, and they said he suffered severe injury to all regions of the brain. The cause of it is uncertain, and I think that was the big kind of slap. They're like, well, what do you mean? And he was tortured, type of thing. The family saying he's tortured, but that wasn't actually outright said. Mm-mm.
But I don't even, and this is so we live in a different world, and it's unfortunate because I can understand why they can't say for sure that it was torture, because torture, there's levels to this thing.
Yeah.
There really is levels to this thing. We're talking about people that are very much advanced in their weaponry. So when we look at it as torture, and what it's torture is for us may not
be torture for them.
It's defined differently. If they can't trace it as what we can typically call torture, then can you define it as torture? It could have been. I don't even want to guess what I could. You know what I'm saying? But it's sad. At the end of the day, it's very sad. You have this young man, you have the young lady, and we have Philando, and all of it is a form of attack. So when you look at it from that perspective, it just really is unfortunate. And my heart, my prayers go out to every family that was affected by all of this gruesome things that have happened in the news, in life, across the world, because this is not just, this could have been any of us at any given time. So my prayers out to the families.
No, prayers out.
And the communities.
And in a time like this, you need people that actually have your best interest at heart, which is a perfect time to introduce our next sponsors, which is Houston Housewife of Finance. Did you know that only 4 states in the United States offer financial education? 33% or more than 77 million of Americans don't pay their bills on time. 39% of Americans carry credit card debt from month to month, and 39% of adults say they don't have enough in their savings. Don't become one of these statistics. Let Houston Housewives of Finance advise you on increasing your cash flow and becoming your own money manager by scheduling your complimentary personal financial strategy. Contact Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463 or email us at info@HoustonHousewivesOfFinance.com. Ask us how you can participate in a complimentary financial literacy workshop near you. Houston Housewives of Finance are the new faces of the new age of financial services. So in a world where nobody has your back, I tell you, Houston Housewives of Finance definitely will. We absolutely love them. They do some amazing support, and they will actually sit you down, help you get to where you need to go. And in this day and age, y'all, that's kind of hard to find. So thank you so much, Houston Housewives of Finance. Call them, email them. They're great people.
I don't know. I think clearly there's importance of getting your financial situation in order, just as it's an importance of getting. Look at what is this young man? His young man who actually invested at 18 years old and is now invested at 15, and he's a millionaire. His name is Eric Finman.
What did he say? I think he made a bet with his parents. He said, "Hey, look, if I can become a millionaire before I'm 18, I don't want to have to go to college." And his parents are like, "Okay,"
because they probably didn't think it was possible.
And guess what? He became a millionaire before he turned 18.
And I think that's amazing. But I'm like, he knew, he had a very clear thought, and he actually said he doesn't really feel like college is worth it. And I understand from his perspective, because there are certain things that are, I guess, people are really just good at, and you don't necessarily have to get training for. But not too many people are willing to take that gamble, because our society now is, you go to college to get that great education, to get that job. You know what I mean? So I think it's amazing that he was able to show people that you can still invest in. You have to have the eye for it. Clearly, he has the eye for it, the right investment at the right time. He waited 4 years, and it actually paid off. So,
and shout out to all the parents out there. So for all of you parents who are like, my son or daughter have to be a doctor or a lawyer to make big money, we're in some new times, y'all. We are in some new times. So open up to technology. There's so many different avenues to be successful. And you define what success is. So I just wanted to say that, because you still have a lot of people that still live like back in 1920, where it's like, go be a doctor, go be a lawyer. That's how you're going to make money.
Man.
But y'all, there's a lot of stuff that's happening. And if you invest that money and save and hook up with people like Houston Housewives of Finance, the sky's the limit. The sky is truly the limit.
Bring it in.
Bring it in. So speaking of bring it in,
what are we bringing
in? For those that want to slim and trim,
I'm all about being gluten free.
You know, look, I got to tell you, I want to give a hand clap just for Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. And we're there. Okay. Took a little
Sorry, y'all.
It's okay. So Chick-fil-A, for those that don't know, like, I love Chick-fil-A. They have a new gluten-free bun that's supposed to be flavored with molasses and raisin,
quinoa, which is amazing.
And what's that? How do you say that?
I don't know how to say that word. I don't know.
Amaranth?
I don't know. But it's dusted with cornmeal on top.
It does with cornmeal. So this is the crazy part. So majority of stuff that's gluten-free comes all together. But because Chick-fil-A, their entire facility is not gluten-free, everything is single packaged. So when you get it, you have to put it all together yourself.
So you have to, and also have to request it, right?
You have to request it. And it's going to be like $1.20 extra.
And listen, people, because we love you, we're going to just give y'all a little bit of information. It really, I tell people all the time, the cost of being healthy is not as costly as it is for health care, medical bills, and prescription medicine.
Come on now.
So, I think you should just take that and try to do the healthy thing and eat right and try the new gluten free. Because if they didn't tell you it was gluten free, you wouldn't even know the difference.
And the reason why we're bringing this up in the show is because a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, when I go to fast food places, they never have the healthy option. Well, for those of you, I
hope nobody's saying it anymore, because I don't know
I know a lot of people who still say that.
Not one fast food restaurant that does not carry a salad. All of them carry salads now.
That's
all of them.
Because all of them have pretty much
all of them. So if you are still saying that, then you are telling stories.
Oh, old school. You are telling the fib.
You are fabricating a fable, Aesop. Cut it out. Okay.
You did just
I did say a fable.
You said a fable.
But I just, can we just kind of talk about this last little thing? Can we?
Yes, we can.
Can we talk about a last little thing, or do we have, you want to say?
No, last little thing. Let's go.
Little thing. So my last thought is, so last week there was a story that I read, and it was about Bachelor in Paradise. And of course, the Bachelor show had been paused for a minute. They stopped taping and recording because it was an allegation that the Bachelor actually was rumored to have had some sexual misconduct with one of the contestants on the show. Well, Warner Brothers did their investigation and found out that that was completely false. It was not true, and they have resumed taping. Now, I was really excited about this. Thankful, actually, because the Bachelor actually was a black man, and he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't. They say he didn't do anything wrong. I think that of all the allegations that have been going and swirling around, I think they probably did do their due diligence on this one. I don't think they was gonna let that one ride if he did. So I'm glad that they actually took the time to clear this man's name
and to go ahead and say this, because of course I love to scroll. Because we don't troll.
And it's important that she tells you that.
Because I'm going to say that like every show now. Until somebody tells me not to do it anymore. And
not to do it anymore.
Like, just stop, Allison.
Just stop, Allison. Nobody knows everyone.
But
you're not a troll.
The cameras were on throughout this entire. Like, there were people, there were eyewitnesses. And there were eyewitnesses that saw it. And it says that it was caught on tape. And so when people reviewed, they're like, wait, no. It didn't. And then the young lady came out and was like, I know I was, taken advantage of. And there's a lot of he said, she said, but the overarching is like, it was caught on camera. Producers were there.
Because this is a reality
and
show.
Everything is
on camera.
Cast members that were there that were like, and as we know, when sponsors smell something like that, they will pull out their sponsorships quick. They don't want to be attached to sexual harassment, not, groups not being inclusive. So, they said that is all, but I mean, the show still goes on, which, is interesting to me, but hey. Y'all can see Kira's face. It was like this.
I'm thankful because again, I'm glad that this young man has a chance at life after the show is over. Because the reason why I say that, because again, he is an African American male, and so many times we hear rumors about people being accused of doing things and they never really get their name cleared publicly.
Okay.
So the public clearing to me was important because life still goes on after this show goes off. They still have to resume life. Bachelor is not the ride. You know what I mean? Like there's still life to be had. And so you never want to be affiliated with something that could wind up being really.
Yeah, it could take
because they're young.
They're very young.
They're young. It's not like they're 52 and 78. They're like in their 20s. You know what I mean?
52 and 78. There's some like really awkward.
awkward numbers. I know.
50s and 60s. 52 and 78. So guys,
she's such a judger.
I judged you on that. Judged you on that. Well, guys, look, as always, we look forward to you joining us next week on Society Now. As we continue to ignite perspective, excite and invoke social consciousness. Woo, woo. So we're really excited that you're here. Again, my name is Allison Bullock, and you can find me on Instagram at Miranda Inc. And I think my page is private, but just send a request, you guys. I'll let you in.
y'all,
because I just thought about that. I'm like, follow me, but
my
wait,
page,
I think it's private.
The thing is, my page was it used to be public, and I did have to make some adjustments. My name is Kira Laws, and you can follow me on Instagram at the Modern Day Cindy. You can also, we'll talk about that. I just love you guys, and thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, remember to like, follow, share, and subscribe.
Subscribe
on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. So good night. Of course, we never met you, but guess what? We love you. Have a great one.